All right, welcome to the third review, fourth video, final thing that we have to cover for the evening. Up this time is Bee Simulator. So, if you're new to the program, I will note we have had the head of Vazrov on the program. Both when this game was in development about 4 or 5 years ago, before the game came out, even. And we just had him on the program, in January? And both times we did talk about Bee Simulator. If you want to learn more about the actual development of Bee Simulator, go listen to the 2020 interview, because the interview from January, we talked more about the success of Bee Simulator and also it getting ported to the Switch, because of how troublesome that was. So, mind you, I don't really remember what we talked about in the 2020 interview, because that was goddamn 5 years ago at this point. So, and we go through a lot of these. But it is in our archives if you wish to know more about how this game came to be. Anyway, so with that in mind, Bee Simulator is also a bit of an egregious misnomer, because how do I put this?
Great. Well,
it's kind of a Bee Simulator game. It's kind of not.
Is it more like Goat Simulator or like Farming Simulator?
It's halfway in between. So it's really fucking weird. Because, you can see the game. It's using realistic depictions of insects, realistic depictions of bees. We've got no cute bees with smiling faces or anything here. But here's the thing. It's got an actual story, and the bees are sapient, and it's all presented very whimsical and non-violent. Which is actually a bit of a bone of contention on my part, because nature is not non-violent.
If you've seen bees fight, it's fucked.
Yes, and that's also important to note, because there's a fighting segment in this game, and it in no way simulates how bees fight or what would actually happen because your basic opponents are fucking wasps. And later on, you have to fight a hornet as a boss, an unbeatable boss, which is more accurate. But how do I put this? Well, I'll put it simply: a lone honeybee is not defeating a wasp.
Now, a shit ton of honeybees.
Yes,
and that's how honeybees fight, in swarms.
Yes. It's also, if honeybees sting an opponent, they die, because they leave their stingers in the opponent, and that literally rips their heart in half. Right.
Yep.
So that's not a realistic this game does not have a realistic depiction of bee fights, which is done in service of the story that they're telling. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this if they didn't call this game Bee Simulator. And, they are trying to be somewhat serious about it.
Yeah, when you start the game, there's literally a option on the menu to how to help save the bees.
Yeah. So this isn't a comedy game. This isn't a meme game. This isn't anything about Goat Simulator, anything in that vein. No, this has got bee facts, and indeed facts about other wildlife that you can go and collect in the field. So it's like I said, it's making a serious attempt, but it's honestly undercut by its own whimsy, which once again is a weird sentence to say.
Well, it's like, I get games can't be all like serious and factual all the time, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you know, kinda, there's only so much suspension of disbelief you can have when it's calling itself a simulator.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me about how I got like the PC version of SimAnt 2000 or some shit back in the day, and
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
instruction manual was a fucking tome.
Weird like that as well.
It was a tome, and a lot of it was real and facts.
Mm-hmm. Well, that admittedly, that was the thing back in the day. You had these cool instruction manuals and shit that could also be useful because, you know, printing shit was expensive.
The world is filled with different flowers, which
Anyway.
our vision sees in different colors.
Uh-huh.
Common flowers are
Um,
red, uncommon are green.
So with
rare
that in
yellow,
mind,
epic flowers are red.
the principal gameplay is, well, you are a bee. A bee that is tasked with collecting pollen, as a bee does. But there's also, the larger backstory is that the particular tree that they're on is under threat by loggers, which is a bit, or at least some humans that want to cut down the tree. Usually in these scenarios, they're loggers, but since this tree is in not Central Park, I doubt they're cutting it for the wood content.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were. I'll be honest. I wasn't really paying that much attention to why the humans were cutting down trees. Though once again, not a realistic depiction of what would happen, because they would very much look for hives containing stinging animals. Because you know what happens if you try to take a chainsaw to a tree that has a fucking beehive on it?
Or in it.
Yeah, I'm like,
Great work, little sister.
you
And
get
now
stung
you can
a lot.
We actually had a dead tree on our property that had a beehive in it. My sister and I are both very allergic to bees.
So, somebody was looking at a negligence lawsuit here. So collecting pollen, as is being described in this tutorial section, is plentiful. You've just gotta go to the golden circles, spheres. This game is very much in the highlight mode of where to go, what to do, that kind of thing, which could be distracting for those who find this kind of immersion breaking. Yes, this game is a lot more neon than I think anyone expected. And you've got things like the bee vision, which allows you to see the rarity of a flower, which will come up in some missions, and the Beetro, the ability to make the bee faster, which will come in handy when you're wanting to go, like to the amusement park, or somewhere that's a ways away from the beehive. The thing is, like in what they call exploration mode, the way you collect Beetro is you've got to get combos on the pollen collecting, which it isn't too difficult, but
I'm ready to start on my new tasks.
found that flying like a bee wasn't as maneuverable as I would have liked it.
Well,
Yeah.
we get to work.
I kind of wish it was a little more fluid and or possibly had a flight stick on me.
Right.
There are many
Um,
jobs in the
especially
hive.
turning.
Scouts,
Turning
Mhm.
was always a bit of a
but most
chore.
of us are honeybees. Like me.
And that kind of connects to my least favorite segment, hell, the segment I outright hated, and that's the chase segment.
Oh no, silly.
Because
You must go see her.
I really wish I could have told the developers to their faces, how do I put that? You know, tell Lukansk directly, anything that reminds me of Superman 64 or How to Train Your Dragon 2, the game, is a bad gameplay segment. Because these are the parts where you have to fly through rings in order, and you have to keep up with like another bee or something like that.
Mhm.
Thankfully, if you fail that segment a few times, it allows you to skip it. I skipped that every chance I got because they were bad. That ties into the whole the maneuverability of the bee.
Let my newest child approach me.
Because yeah, the turning doesn't really work when you're all that well in regards to the ring segments. Plus, honestly, the ring segments were fucking boring. They're always boring. Like, look, there's a reason why this kind of gameplay is decried. But thankfully, it's just a piece of this game, not the main focus. Getting back to the combat, that kind of plays out RPG style, I guess, for lack of a better term, where you've got to use your mouse, like left mouse button is attack, right mouse button is defend, except it's done like a timed hit. You know, you got a meter, and it's passing through red and blue bars indicating attack or defense, and you've got to hit that in time in order to attack or defend. And the width of the blue or red bar indicates how long a window you have in order to attack or defend. And you know, if you attack or defend well enough, you charge your lightning symbol, which allows for a strong attack.
Whoa.
And that segment's okay. Not amazing, but not bad.
Let's gather some pollen.
Probably the most engaging of the sub mini game, however you want to put them, segments of this game. And finally, there's the dancing component, which I just found to be useless. Ironically, because it was too easy.
What, do they make you play an easy round of BBR?
Yes, exactly that. Like, you got you press one of the directional arrows in the direction a bee moves, and up to 4 things, and that's it. Like I said, it's honestly trivial. Once again, I suppose not awful, but I'm like, so yeah, I'm just gonna call them the minigame components of this title are okay to god awful. But what about the main mode, which is what they call exploration mode? It's very chill and relaxing, and the particular maneuverability of the bee doesn't really affect things, because there's no pressures in easy mode. Also, I would recommend playing this on easy mode because hard mode adds timers to the mix, and this game becomes a lot less fun with timers.
Everything's spinning.
Like,
Leave me alone.
the gameplay is at its best when it complements the casual, easygoing mood that they've set for themselves. And as far as you don't really have to engage in the story mode if you don't want to. See, here's the ring segment. Tell me this isn't Superman 64 coded.
It very much is.
Yeah.
I feel really funny.
Now there's a distinct lack of kryptonite mist.
Where is my eye?
I hate
I mean,
that.
it's the rings themselves, though, are green.
Yeah, but the draw distance is good.
Well, yeah, that's because it's not on the Nintendo goddamn.
I know, but the draw distance was one of the big problems with that.
Like I said, anything that
But yes,
reminds
flying through rings is never something I enjoy.
yeah, like I said, this was bad, but it's a minor segment of the gameplay that you can skip. So it's kind of marginal in my disaffection for the game. Like,
I want to help you.
anyway, trying to so there are like two kinds of collectibles, if I can call them that, or I suppose that like there's collectible and there's a discoverable. There's also unlockables. That is to say, as you explore the world, you will come across animals, and that will unlock both facts in the bestiary and also trophies in the beehive at a certain point. Those are what the knowledge points are for, that you build up over the course of completing tasks. And yeah, here's the combat segment that I was describing. Once again, it's okay. Anyway, also later on, there are skins that you can dress the bee in. That also cost points. So there are collectibles. There are also like these honeycombs out in the world, which will unlock things in the library. Yeah, there's a bee library in this game. See,
That's it for me.
and honestly, that's my biggest complaint about the game. This weird dissonant tone it's got going.
To come out now.
Once again, you're striving for realism, but you're also trying to inject whimsical, fanciful stuff in this game as well, and it doesn't really work.
Oh, I feel so sick.
But I suppose overall, I still enjoyed the game.
We're all family after all.
Like I said, honestly, I enjoyed the game the most when I was just buzzing around, collecting pollen or looking around.
That's a good day's work. Time to go home.
What about you, Petty? You've been playing the game. How are you finding it?
It's all right.
Still, I can see why this game was popular with parents and children, because this is definitely something I allow my nephews and niece to play if they were interested in games that were controlled with a controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's also they're not very into insects, at least not right now. you know, there is a chance one of them will go through a bug phase. Anyway, like I said, it's still a solid game. Now, I suppose the question is this game $20 solid? I think so. I think if you're looking for a meaty, good sim-ish experience, this is fine to get. But I would also supplement it with some nature documentaries, because you're just not getting the full story on bees here.
Mm-hmm.
Humans are trying to destroy
Right.
our
So,
tree.
any other questions, comments, or concerns over Bee Simulator?
We'll be back soon to take away our home.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So that'll about do it for not just this installment, not just this review, but this installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. So let me see. Coming up on the week ahead, if I can get to the right page. I hate it when that happens. Anyway, on Wednesday, February 19th, we'll be having Basalis Domsodi of Nosfera Studio. They are behind the game Elflock, which is a single-player, third-person adventure game. In Elflock, you play as a princess returning to your home on the brink of war, and it's up to you to help your father, the king, make the decision that could save your homeland, or cause its destruction if the circumstances are misjudged. Sounds interesting. We do have a Friday show this week, and on Friday, February 21st, we'll be welcoming Adam Riches of Robust Games. They are behind the game called Locomotive. On the Rius Express, a passenger has been murdered, and you're the prime suspect. Okay, it says suspects. Anyway, uncover a thrilling mystery and solve satisfying point-and-click puzzles to prove your innocence. A slapstick adventure packed full of deadly surprises, shocking twists, and larger-than-life characters. So, looking forward to that as well. We do have a new episode of MSP planned for Wednesday, and so far I haven't been able to secure a replacement guest for that. It's not looking good. And with that in mind, I shall wish you good gaming.